No, President Trump's recent federal intervention right here in the nation's capital has created confusion surrounding policing and what it can mean for residents who oppose an expanded federal enforcement presence. Joining me now to discuss this and so much more is Dion Lassiter. He is a national expert in the field of American race relations and yet again kind enough to join us right here on the Live Zone. Chad, truly appreciate your time, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Let's jump right into this. Chad, can you address, in essence, how the president's actions might affect, let's say, local civil liberties in the balance between, well, and really security and community autonomy?
Great question. It's really an all-out assault and attack on Black and brown humanity. This is a white supremacist playbook by this president. This is nothing new. We know that there's an anthology of police brutality that is historical. And so to come into this space and to have a pretext and a context in which we're saying that Washington, D.C. is extremely violent, no city, whether it's an urban area, a suburban area, or rural area, is without challenges along the indices of violence. But what we have is, if you juxtapose what he's doing, he did the same thing in Los Angeles. That's a Black mayor. He's doing the same thing here. And I'm very concerned about the forms of trauma and the potential of vicarious traumatization as it relates to Black and brown communities, always being under a form of surveillance and suspicion.
Chad, obviously, with regard to a key component to maintaining one's safety, we can both say it's about staying informed and staying informed in a major way. Educating oneself to make sure that he or she knows their rights. This is something that, out of any time, is paramount, especially right here in the nation's capital.
You're absolutely right. And that's why it's a both and not an either or. People should know their rights. There should be mobilizing on a macro, meso, and micro level. People should also be able to coalesce with one another and coalition building to speak back to any police officers that are overreaching. But once again, this is an attack. We're seeing a larger attack on Black humanity with the erasure, the rollbacks of DEI, and now we're simply saying that, the nation's capital is violent, that there's all these challenges. There's structural violence as well. The cutting of Medicaid and Medicare and the rollbacks of so many historical things is also a form of structural violence that disadvantages individuals on all sides of the color line and gender line as well. And so residents should be able to speak up, speak out. They should also know their rights. They should be able to talk about when they're being traumatized. Also, they should be able to talk about when they're being targeted unlawfully as well.
Chad, you just touched on that, and that happens to be the potential rollbacks of civil rights protections, especially for marginalized communities that really could arise. Yet again, this is a major concern right here in the nation's capital.
And in the nation's capital, I think people are aware that you all have a similar commission. In Pennsylvania, we have a Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission. You all have one down in D.C. as well as one in Maryland. And so people need to know that they have the right under the law. So whatever's happening on a federal level, people need to know that they have rights to file a complaint against overreaching, against any form of discrimination. And so I think, once again, the moment we find ourselves in is a moment where this is a president and an administration that wants to distract. I think that we, the people, and I want to emphasize, we, the people, are very aware of what the elites are trying to do. And so we need to continue to create a beloved community. And in the words of Martin Luther King Jr., we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. We need action. We need grassroots organizing. We need people to speak up and speak out. And we need for we, the people, to recognize that we don't want to live, whether it's DC, Chicago, Atlanta, or Philadelphia, in communities where there are paramilitary forces acting as law enforcement that are not protecting the civil liberties of we, the people.
Yet again, we have been speaking with Dion Lassiter. He is a national expert in the field of American race relations and yet again kind enough to join us right here on the Live Zone. Chad, truly appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you for having me.